Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Jenny. It's a good morning.
Who needs LeBron James? Seriously. They've got this. They don't need LeBron.
Oh, look, you just said AD wasn't a guy. You said he's a complimentary guy.
Wait, no, you were the one who was telling me AD's got to step up.
Yeah.
You just told me that like 5 days ago.
And did he?
Well, will he continue to?
Okay, then. Yeah. Okay.
You saw it glimmer.
You saw it. You saw it.
So, yes, we have some good Lakers news to discuss and some, I'm going to let you guys decide about the other news. The Lakers got a much-needed win over the Suns last night after dropping 2 in a row previously. Anthony Davis, like you guys mentioned, dropped a season-high 42 points along with 12 rebounds and 5 assists in the win. But over the weekend, the Lakers reportedly got more bad news. LeBron's ankle is not going to get a lot better, according to the report, and something he will have to play with throughout the playoffs. Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you trust the Lakers are going to repeat as champs?
Well, everything is going to be contingent on LeBron's health and how healthy is he going to be. We realize that once you deal with this injury and it's the course of a season, you're going to have to play with a certain level of pain, a certain level of discomfort, Skip, and how well can he play with that and still maintain playing at an elite level? I'm going to say 5, 5.5. You tell me LeBron James is going to be 85, 90%, I'll go up to 8.5, 9. But I don't believe he's going to be able to get to those numbers. The question that I believe he's going to play probably Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't think he'll play back-to-back games, Skip, but I believe he comes back either tomorrow against the Knicks or the following night against the Rockets.
Want to bet that it's the Rockets?
You might be right.
He doesn't want any part of the Knicks right now.
We'll talk about the Knicks a little later.
Yeah.
I like the Knicks. Knicks. Playoff bound. We playoff bound, baby.
Yeah.
After
Okay.
they did that number with you guys. And so that's where I am, Skip. But you tell me AD's going to play like this, Skip, but I'm not expecting him to get 42 and 12. But if you can tell me he's going to be this assertive, he's going to be this aggressive, this decisive, he's going to be... Skip, we saw AD on the ground last night getting a rebound, getting a loose ball. He's like, let me go and show these guys that if LeBron misses another game, you're going to be in good hands because I'm going to be able to do what I need to do. It carried over. It was a carryover from Friday night, Skip, because he played unbelievable Friday night. Didn't get a whole lot of help from his supporting cast, especially you know who. But that's neither here nor there. I don't care to mention his name. But
I don't know who you're talking about.
You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Oh, the big penguin?
No. One guy, he might show up with his hair green. He might show up with it blue. It might be blonde.
It might be
hurt.
He's hurt. He was out last night.
Hold on. So you've been giving me problems about
his hair hurt last night.
Exactly.
He had damaged hair.
Yeah, he had back spasms.
Right. Yeah. We're talking about Kyle Kuzma. Go ahead.
Kyle Kuzma. Skip, last 2 games, 78 points in 80 minutes. And this is where he's going to have to be, Skip. The days AD's missed, 8 weeks? So you can't really manage minutes now. He can't be that 35 minutes. He played almost 41 minutes last night. And that's probably what it's going to take. I don't know if Bron is going to be able to give him those kind of minutes early. But as they advance, which I expect them to do, I expect LeBron numbers he's going to have to be somewhere around 37, 38, maybe even 39 minutes. AD's going to be somewhere between 40 and 42 minutes a night because he's a lot younger. But I like what I saw with AD. They got great contributions, Skip. Everybody contributed last night. Caruso was unbelievable. Caldwell Pope was unbelievable. Tucker, who missed the last 2 games because of a calf. Trez came off and gave us valuable minutes after a DNP. Wesley Matthews, Skip, how many DNPs had he not had over the last 6, 7 games? And then guess what? Comes out, plays well. So I like what I saw with AD. If AD can give me some resemblance of what I saw last night with that aggressiveness, that assertiveness, that decisiveness, and LeBron comes back at about 85, 90%, Skip, we're going to be 8, 9. But I don't believe LeBron can get to that level, so I'm going to say 5, maybe a 6.
Which is it? You said 5, 5.5, and then maybe a 6.
I may be going
Which
6.
is it?
Who we getting in the first round? Because you know we getting out of the play-in, right?
Well, are you getting out of the play-in?
Don't do
Because
that,
if
Skip.
you don't, you're going to play Golden State 1 time, to be the
hold on. So in other words, we might play Golden State. Winner take all. Everybody put everything they own to the center of the table.
Well, it's not winner take all, because if you lose that game, you'd get another shot.
Not the 7-8, right?
Mm-hmm. No, you get one more shot against the winner of Memphis and San Antonio.
And then they got to win two. They got to win. They got to win two. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we good. We good. We straight.
You're good.
Yeah. We
okay.
Good.
So 5.5 or 6. I need you on the record right here, right now. Or are you just a 5?
Nah, that GOAT. I feel GOAT even at 7, he'll still a top 5, 6 player.
So you are a 7?
I'm going 7.
You've gone 5, 5.5, 6, and all. You've talked yourself into a 7.
You know why, Skip? I forgot who I was dealing with.
Oh,
I'm dealing with the greatest basketball player ever.
You started feeling goatish?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good.
Shannon Sharpe says on a scale of 1 to 10, your confidence level in your Lakers is right now at a 7 to repeat as champions. Yeah. Okay, you said 5 to start with, and that's what I wrote down right here on my little piece of paper, a 5. I'm 50-50 because you have 2 issues at hand. You have injury issues to your top 2 stars because I have called LeBron. I paid him the highest compliment. I have called him the most durable superstar ever that I've witnessed in my lifetime. Nobody has been Iron Man durable but like LeBron James. He had a little groin issue 2 years ago, and he fought through that, but he went into playoff mode. Remember, he activated playoff mode, and they did not even make the playoffs.
Right.
And now he's got a high ankle sprain. And I don't know how bad it is because you can't know. Nobody really knows except that man, LeBron James. And I'm still shocked that he came back for 2 games against Sacramento and Toronto. He did not play well. You thought he looked limited. I couldn't see limited, but you thought he was a shell of himself, basically.
Yes.
And yet, after Toronto, he had missed the shot to win against Sacramento, and then he was just sort of blah against Toronto, and they lost again at home. Both games, home losses. He said, I'm shutting it down again. And I thought he might shut it down for 1 game, but here we go, and time marches on, and we've gone a whole nother week of games, and now we're into this coming week, and as you pointed out, they have the Knicks at home Tuesday, then the Rockets at home on Wednesday, and by far the easiest remaining game is the Rockets. I predict right here, right now, LeBron will try to go limited minutes against the Rockets just to test it out and see how it is.
Skip, if they go 4-0 and if Portland can go 2-2, now they're in the 6th spot. And you don't have to worry about the play-in game.
Okay.
So is there a possibility? Skip, you never know about LeBron because, he probably shouldn't play back-to-back.
Yep.
But shouldn't, and given what the circumstances are, there's probably a great 8 and 10 chance that he does play back-to-back, given that it's a possibility that they can avoid the play-in altogether if they were to go undefeated. Because Portland has Utah, has the Denver Nuggets, who still has an outside shot of Skipper getting the 3rd seed.
Okay, by the way, Portland is on fire right now, and they laid it on you guys on Friday night despite Anthony's huge game. That was his re-coming out party this year.
Yep.
And yet they've won 7 of 8, so I'm not going to discount them. They got it going.
Yeah.
And it could be very interesting what could happen in the first round because my Clippers might have to deal with Portland. That could be very interesting as a 3-6 matchup in the first round. Okay, so what does this mean for your Lakers with your 2 injury issues going on right now? You have 3 legitimate threats to me, and it's the Clippers in the West, and then if I look to the East, it's the Nets and the Sixers. Those are your 3 legitimate threats. And I still say, now Kawhi's dealing with a left-hand injury, which he suffered against you guys because he was trying to beat you guys, trying to annihilate you guys, and he fell on his left hand or at least hit it on an offensive foul. I don't know what it was. So now he's got an issue. Ibaka is said to be coming back. If he can come back full force or, to your point, 90-some%, then you are going to be eliminated by the Clippers somewhere along the trail.
Y'all might get eliminated before y'all even see us.
Okay, so here's the problem. I don't understand why LeBron is reportedly iffy for the playoffs. I don't get it because, again, he's the most durable superstar ever, and I don't want excuses planted for him because I think this is coming from his inner circle, and I don't want everybody to be thinking, well, he's not all there.
Let me ask you a question. How many games have LeBron James played in the last 50 days?
50?
Yeah. He's played 2.
Okay.
So you think that's an accident? So you think LeBron was just resting for the past 50 days? There was nothing absolutely wrong. He's 100% healthy.
What does Shannon Sharpe always, what has he taught me? The Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. If you step onto the floor to play or step onto the field to play, you play. There are no more excuses.
And guess what he did? He stepped on the court for 2 games, and he wasn't himself, and he stepped off the court, and you still criticized him for that.
I'm wondering where he is when his team needs him to save it from the play-in that he despises.
You just told me that Shannon Sharpe told you if you step on the court, you play.
Okay.
Now, you expect to play at a level. He couldn't play at that level. He stepped off the court, and you still criticized him.
Last week he said, I'll never, ever be 100% the rest of my career. And even Shannon Sharpe said, he's just laying it on a little thick there. He's exaggerating.
Now, I believe, meaning that he won't be 100% the rest of this year. I absolutely 100% believe that. It's hard to get healthy if you play a professional sport and then you got to come back. Okay, I'm healed up, but you go right back to running, jumping, cutting, planting on that ankle. And that's what they're asking LeBron. Skip, his whole thing, he's not a KD that spends a lot of his time catching and shooting, 1-2 dribbles, and pulling up. That's not what he does. LeBron's going to have to be able to bend the corner. He's going to have to be able to turn the corner, get to the rim. That's where he's most explosive, because if you stay off him, he'll shoot the 3. But now, hopefully he comes back, because I believe they're going to dare him to shoot the 3, because, Skip, I don't want him to go past me. So,
well, I dare him to shoot the 3 myself, because he's 37%. He's not even in the top 100 3-point.
That's all right. All I know is that they dared him last year, and he was 28, 11, and 8. That's what we did for the entirety of the playoffs. So do it again.
Yet, when you were in the bubble, in the playoffs last year, who was the MVP of the bubble? Not the finals. LeBron won MVP. I'll give you that. But who was the playoff MVP for the Los Angeles Lakers? The unsung MVP was Rondo, who's now a Clipper.
Oh, my goodness. So why did he do that last night then?
Wait a second. They're not playing him enough minutes. They're saving him for when it really counts.
They're saving him.
Yes, they are. He's an older player. But the point is, who was your biggest, best player through the whole stretch run of the playoffs? It was Anthony Davis, who hit the shot to win Game 2 against Denver. It was Anthony Davis, not LeBron James, Anthony Davis. So while I've called LeBron the most durable superstar, I call Anthony just the opposite, because when he came to the Lakers, we kept talking about it. Even you acknowledge when he was a Pelican, he had a long injury. It was one thing after another, after another, after another. They were all kind of like nicks and knacks, but they were injuries. He had a bunch of them. So if we could see a soundbite that I saw last night on the local sports spectrum, the Lakers station here in Los Angeles, from your man Caruso, who I thought outplayed CP3 last night. He did. He laid it on him. Could we see what Alex Caruso said about Anthony Davis after the game?
I've heard a lot of chit chat, some tweets, some words around the world about AD's so soft and he's falling all over the place. And guys got to understand, they just got to give him a couple days to get, a couple games to get his feet under him. And I mean, the beast is waking up, as everybody can tell.
The beast is waking up.
You had it right. You didn't have to say the latter part. You had it right. They've been talking a lot of ish about AD.
Okay.
You too.
Okay. I have, because I see what my eyes see, and my eyes tell me he's fragile, because we didn't have a show this past Friday, so we weren't able to talk about what the Clippers did to the Lakers. But Anthony, look at what happened. Can we see the first 2 plays against the Clippers where he backs up into the scores table and tweaks his ankle? I'm like, what are you doing? Like, whoops. There's a scores table back there. Did he forget about it? Maybe he hasn't played enough. He forgot there was a scores table. I don't know. And then here we go, and he goes down here. This is late first quarter.
They kicked him. Morris kicked his leg out from under him. Skip, look at this. You see that? You see that?
Okay.
That's the Reggie Miller. They outlawed that.
And he stayed down, and then he went down under the basket a little bit later. And I'm saying, at first I thought, because Vogel ran onto the floor to check him out, and I thought maybe he'd torn his Achilles. I'm knocking on wood. I hate to even say that. But it just seemed like something had gone really wrong. And then he goes to the locker room, and he does not return.
No.
And guess what they announce? Back spasms? So I'm thinking it could be the ankle. Reggie Miller saying on TNT, looks like he tweaked his ankle again. I'm thinking, please no Achilles, because I don't want to see him gone for the rest of the year. That would be unfair.
Skip, if you remember, sometimes these guys forget. You remember how Steph hurt his butt. Steph shot a three-point three-pointer and backed all the way into the stands and fell on one of the corners of the steps and hurt his butt and was out for 3 or 4 games.
Okay.
I mean, 6 or 7 games. So sometimes, Skip, you just back it up and you forget. The next thing you know, you stumble over something.
Okay.
But if AD is healthy, AD is going to have to play between 38 and 41 minutes a night. That's what he's going to have to give.
And then let's sum this up with what I saw last night with 3:30 left in the game. Check this out. Here's AD again with 3:30 left, and he tweaks his calf again. He's like limping up the floor holding his calf, and I'm thinking he did it again. He did it again. Look at this.
Cramp.
Or is it a hamstring?
Cramp.
Is it a cramp? It could have been a cramp.
Skip, that 40, Skip, that. I mean,
that looked like a cramp. I agree. At first, I thought he'd done his calf again, strained it again.
When was the last time we've seen AD play this many minutes, Skip? You got to realize AD played 41 minutes last night.
39 at Portland, 41 last night.
Yeah, that's a lot of minutes.
So to his credit, he came off back spasms on Thursday night and turned right around on Friday night and shocked me, number one, that he even played in the game. That showed me some guts. That showed me that the beast wants to be awakened.
Yeah.
And that showed me that very quietly they lost the game, but it's because Portland's just like a buzzsaw right now.
Dame caught fire.
And so did CJ. They're both just draining them left and right. It's hard to overcome that.
Yes.
But he almost did because he was 36-12 with 5 assists in 39 minutes, and he turns right around last night, and he goes 42-12 and 5 in 41 minutes, to your point.
And 3 blocks.
And do you trust him to stay healthy?
And did you? I know you're going to talk about old Drum, but did you see those 7 boards? He had 10 rebounds.
Who said I was going to talk about him? I haven't brought him up yet.
No, you want to talk about the big penguin, Kareem Abdul-Drummond.
Yeah.
But did you see? He had 10 rebounds, 7 of them on the offensive end, which gave us second opportunity to get more points. So now when Bron get back, and Drum still manning those boards, we gonna be all right.
Really?
All right. We all right. It's all right.
Did you see the bunny that Drum missed last night? I gotta see it again because I still can't believe my eyes on this one.
I knew you was gonna bring this up.
Andre the Giant. What? How can you miss that? You're 6 feet 10 inches tall.
And then Crowder,
just go back and just dunk it. Just go dunk it.
And Crowder's on his back and pull the ball out of his hand.
What are you doing? He gets blocked by Crowder, going back up. What are you doing, Big Penguin? He looked like a big penguin. That's how a big penguin would shoot that. It's a point-blank layup. You told me he's part of the big three, right?
I think the thing is that he's picking up ticky-tack fouls so early. Skip, he had 3 fouls in the first 2-3 minutes of the ball game. I understand, Skip. When you go to a new locale, you're trying to, I'm going to challenge everything, but he's picking up ticky-tack fouls, and it's getting him out of his rhythm, and it's taxing the bench. But lo and behold, it was a blessing in disguise, because guess what? Over the last week and a half, Marc Gasol has played better than he played the first 3 months in L.A. Before they got Drum, and you know that.
Maybe it's time to get Drum out of the rotation.
No,
because he just clogs up I predicted. I first guessed.
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
Clogs it up.
The 2 best games AD had this year, who was on the court starting with him? You make it seem like JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard spaced the floor, and he was first team All-NBA with 2 guys that clog up the middle.
Andre Drummond lasted 19 minutes and 39 seconds last night. That's not exactly starter minutes for a guy who started the game.
And he gave you 10 boards, 7 of them on the offensive end.
Montrez, who's been a DNP, he's back deep in Vogel's doghouse. He only got to play 14 and a half minutes, but he made 4 out of 6 shots for 12 points.
Yeah.
You like that?
I like that.
Yeah, because I thought his fire got lit.
Yeah.
My old big penguin. He said, watch this, penguin.
Think about it. Keith Morris didn't even play last night. He was a DNP. There are going to be times come playoff time. We saw how it played out last year. There are games in which Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee were basically non-existent. And Keith Morris played. And then you had other series where JaVale and Dwight were very prominent against Portland, against Yoke. So you're going to have to understand, all you have to do, Skip, you don't know when your number is going to be called.
Yep.
Just make sure you're ready that it is called, so when your number is called, that you don't be a goat, lowercase, that oh man, got his number called and he wasn't available. He wasn't ready. So just be ready when your number is called. But those 2 big dogs go eat. Oh, go.
All I know for sure is that without LeBron James, and last night, obviously, without Kuzma and obviously without Schroeder, the Lakers have pulled off within 1 week's time two of the biggest upsets of the year. Home upsets of Denver on Monday night, followed by Phoenix on Sunday night. That's extraordinary. I'm impressed.
I ain't impressed.
And there's no LeBron. How do you figure?
You lucky.
Huh?
Skip, you and I both know. If we stay healthy, we're the number 1 seed. You know that. Couldn't nobody see us. I mean, stop doing that.
Well, but you're not healthy, and you don't have reps, and you have a very different team than you had a year ago.
True.
So I'll go 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 because I'm not sure I trust your team even past halfway. Because remember, when you put GOAT back in this mix, GOAT doesn't know this mix very well. He doesn't know Big Penguin.
You know what? We're going to have a couple of walkthroughs, probably in a ballroom, probably won't even go to the court. They're going to say, this is what I need. Hey, don't worry about the point. Just give us what you gave us last night on the offensive end. Skip, you're going to give us 2 and 3 cracks at a basket? Every time, I mean, half the time, 3/4 of the time down?
All I want to say one more time is when LeBron comes back, I don't want to hear any excuses about how I'm still struggling with my ankle. No excuses.
Nobody's going to have any excuses. So only one team will win the championship and have and I don't want to hear any excuses from anybody. Regardless of who wins the title. I don't care if it's Milwaukee. I don't want to hear Brooklyn. I don't want to hear the Clippers talking about the chemistry. I don't want to hear anything about the big 3 in Brooklyn didn't have enough time together. No one will have excuses. No one. Am I clear, Skip Bayless?
Yes.
No one.
No one will have excuses, and the Lakers will not have the advantage of being the only team that wanted to be in the bubble last year.
Whoa. So why'd you go? Adam Silver says, hold on. We're not forcing anybody to go. Don't go.
Well, my team didn't want to stay.
No.
Yeah, it's like the office party. We have an office party that's like, hey, they send it out. If you want to come, RSVP. If you don't return. Guess what? So don't be showing up talking about, man, this is terrible. Why you bring your you-know-what?
Well, one team went to the office party last year and won it by default.
I kind of miss office parties.
You're a hater. You always been that way. Guess what?
To plan one for
we win.
No mercy. Luka Doncic was ejected yesterday after an aggressive strike to the groin area on the Cavs' Colin Sexton. And after the game, Luka brushed the play off as being unintentional, saying, quote, "After I saw the video, I knew I hit him, but it wasn't nothing on purpose. I think that kind of stuff happens a lot in games, but I don't know. That's my explanation. It obviously wasn't on purpose. It was just 2 guys fighting for a rebound, I guess." Shannon, are you buying this?
Yeah, Skip, I don't think he meant to do it. What he was trying to do, Skip, was slap Colin Sexton's hands off him, and he ends up going a little lower than he intended to. Skip, last week they threw P.J. Tucker out of a game like that. Somebody set a back screen on him at the top of the key, and he got picked. They called it, and they went back and looked at it, and they saw P.J. Tucker, one of the most slick Chris Paul moves on him, and they threw him out of the ball game. So they're trying to clean that aspect up because there are a lot of guys that was doing that, Skip. A lot of times they was like, oh, he picked me off, and somehow their hands, Draymond was doing a Rockette style kicking, and everybody else was using their hands. So I'm not, because I was like, hold on, y'all threw the man out for that? I'm like, a flagrant 2. I was like, hold on, that wasn't a blow to the head or unnecessary blow to the shoulder, neck area. So I'm like, and then when I went back and looked at it and I saw what he did, and it was the initial, not when he came back and shoved him, Skip. He's basically just trying to get Colin Sexton's hands off him, and he ran a little low, and so that's the rule. You hit somebody in the groin area, they're going to toss your butt up out of the game. I do not believe it was intentional. It wasn't looking like, oh, there you go right there. That's okay. No, he was like Colin Sexton was trying to box him out. He's trying to box Colin Sexton out. Colin Sexton, pushed him in the back a little bit. He tried to swipe his hands off him and hit him in his groin. That's the rule. They threw his butt out of the ball game. But he had been crying all night. So the referee probably just got tired of him crying and said, you know what? The best way so we don't have to hear Luka cry anymore, Skip, is to get him out the game. And I told you, we saw this the other night against Brooklyn. Skip, I don't know. I think Jokic might complain more than Luka. I saw it against Brooklyn, Skip, every single play. Every time they shoot the ball, every time they shoot, miss, whatever the case may be, Skip, it's a foul. No, it's not. So I agree. They should have thrown him out because he hit. I don't really think he hit him. I get it. He hit him like in the side of his thigh, but hey, they said it was a groin shot, and they threw him out of the ball game. That's where they're headed now.
I cannot fathom how you just tried to defend a young man that you love, that you have compared to your childhood favorite player, Larry Bird. You actually call this man Baby Bird. And you let him get away with
You thought he meant to do that on purpose?
Absolutely.
Do that on purpose, man. Stop.
He had a 6'1" man on him from behind, like a little gnat, and he finally got sick of the little gnat bothering him, and he turned and he looked down and he aimed and he fired. And I thought he connected. Colin Sexton gave him a break afterwards, said, I don't think it was intentional.
No, it was.
I'm going to let it go. It was a shot aimed at the groin. It was a message sent, and it was a CP3 memorial shot to the groin because he is the all-timer when it comes to shots. And I totally disagree with your take on Jokic complains more than Doncic. Listen, Luka complains every night, every play. Every time that he misses a shot, he turns and whines. So LeBron leads the league in post-game whine, W-I-N-E, while Luka runs away with the league lead in in-game whining, W-H-I-N-I-G. He whines again and again and again and again and again. I can barely watch him anymore. Did Larry Bird whine like this? Did Larry Bird ever pop somebody in the groin because they got frustrated and agitated?
Yeah, he popped Bill that beer in the face. Skip, you know it was a different era back then.
Yeah, hit him in the face. If Luka wants to turn around and square up and let's go, I'm good with it.
No, man, they gonna throw that man. Man will get suspended for 20 games.
That's fine. If he wants to meet him outside after the game, I am totally cool with that.
That ain't Luka.
Okay, it ain't Luka. And he has had a reputation his first 2 years as a target of physicality because if you hit him early and knock him off his rhythm, he'll continue to whine and go in his shell.
Remember what Dwight did to him last year?
He just took him right out of that game at Dallas. I'll never forget. It was on November the 1st.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have a little play on him, rough him up a little bit.
Yep. And LeBron screwed up at the end of the game and thought, oh, my God, I can't just dunk this ball or the game's going to be over.
There you go, man.
And at the last second, he was so fortunate to find Danny Green all alone in the far corner, all alone only because Dwight Howard had held Seth Curry, right?
There you go. See?
Grabbed his jersey and held it. I don't forget these things.
Back pick, great back pick by Dwight.
It was a great jersey grab is what it was. So this says the story about Luka is that he responded to the ruling by rolling his eyes, indicating surprise. He laughed as he exited the floor, and then he tried to sell it afterwards. He thought they were trying to determine in the review whether the foul had occurred before the shot clock violation. Right. So he was trying to contend that he thought that there was nothing going on with his groin pop.
Right.
How can you say that when you landed into the most sensitive area on the body?
Skip, but here's the thing, Skip. You can tell he doesn't realize that he hit him in the groin because when they called a foul, he raises his hand. And if you look at the shot clock, had gone off. So I can understand why he's thinking.
He raised his hand because he knew he just popped him right in the I
wouldn't have raised my hand.
Huh?
But Skip, the thing was they're fighting for position. And it happened. I don't believe Luka intended to hit the man. I believe he meant to get his hands up off him. Yeah, he tried to hit him in the stomach, and like you said, the man's a little low, so Luka, that's all in one motion. He's turning around and swinging at the same time. He ain't
ready, aim, fire.
Stop that,
Look at him. He turns and looks right down like, I got this.
No, he didn't, Skip. He turned around all in one motion.
I'm going to send you a message, and that's the ultimate below-the-belt message to send. Way to go.
You know good and well.
That's your guy.
Skip, you know good and well, Luka is not sending any messages. Jokic is not sending any messages. That's not how they play.
He would send one to a 6'1" guy.
No.
6'7" versus 6'1". He said, yeah, watch this.
No.
I'll show you how we play over in Europe. We do this, right?
That might be how they play over Europe. But, Skip, look, they gave him a flagrant 2. I didn't understand why. I'm like, hold on. Y'all gave the man a flagrant 2 for shoving him in the back? Is that what y'all gave him for? Because I didn't see the initial part of it, Skip, until they went back and reviewed it. And then I saw what they did. It was the first part, not the shove in the back. See, I thought it was the shove in the back they got the foul call. And maybe that's what it was. But when they went back and looked at it, like, hold on, let's go all the way back to the beginning.
The referee didn't even pull his punch. The referee said, an aggressive strike to the groin area.
Yeah, he swung, yeah.
Oh.
I'm trying to get my head,
Interesting. So I want to remind everybody that Luka Doncic was the runaway preseason favorite for MVP in this league.
Yeah.
And I want to remind everybody that I called him Baby Sparrow because he can't shoot. He's not Baby Bird. He can't shoot. And so what has he done? Has he improved his shooting this year? No, in three-point shooting, he now ranks 123rd of 161 qualified. He's making 35.5% of his three-point shots. That's even below LeBron's 37%. From the free throw line, is Luka deadly the way Larry Bird was a 90% free throw shooter? No, he's not. He's at 72.3%. That ranks 89th of 110 qualified. 89th. It's a little better than LeBron at 70%, but it's still pathetic if we're talking about Larry Bird and MVP.
Yeah, but you have to understand, the kid is just 22.
Oh.
He's 22. He's giving you 29, 8, and 8.
That's his third year in the league?
Third.
Okay.
Do you realize, Skip, at that same age, Larry Bird was a senior at Indiana State. Let that sink in for just a second.
All right, and he was pushing Magic and Gregory Kelser to the brink in the national championship game.
And he pushing grown men in playoffs the brink.
He's been playing pro basketball. He played for 6 years in Europe before he came here.
How many parents will send their 15-year-old abroad by themselves, say, go figure it out on your own. Go play against grown men, regardless.
LeVar Ball, right?
He went with him. He went with him. His mom didn't go.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's showing. Look at Melo. Look how Melo playing. So look at that guy right there. That's my point.
He got 6 years of pro basketball experience in the Euro League.
But you got to be able to. You got to be able to be really good to be able to do that, Skip.
So the Mavs are now 40-28 in the 5th seed because they're only 19-15 at home, a la the Lakers. Also 19-15 at home. That's a big disappointment.
Skip, but you got to realize our starters have missed 83 total games.
Okay.
There's not very many teams that can say that. Maybe Brooklyn. Brooklyn has that argument because KD missed a bunch of games. James Harden hadn't played in 6-7 weeks. And Kyrie has missed time here and there, some for personal reasons, some for injury, and some for maintenance. Okay, we get that. But there hasn't been a situation, there are very few teams, Skip, that has what Brooklyn has, that if you miss 2 starters, you still have a superstar that can carry the team. If Kawhi and Paul George goes down, what do you think's happened? If Jokic and Murray goes down, what do you think's happened? If Giannis and Chris Middleton goes down, you think Holiday's going to have them in playoff contention? Probably not. But that's what happened with the Lakers. They lost AD and LeBron, basically simultaneous. So I'm not surprised that they're where they are. But Luka, I don't believe Luka meant to do this, Skip. I believe he meant to get his hands up on him, yes. I'm going to try to get your hand. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to break your hand. And he swung, looked careless, hit the man. They got him up out of there. But you try to make it more than what, he's dirty. So now you're saying Luka a dirty player.
Yeah, he resorted to a dirty method of sending a message because he just finally lost it. He almost loses it. The referee's not ever. He's one tech away from being suspended for a game. Yeah. And this didn't count because this was a flagrant foul.
Skip, it's not a tech away from being dirty. He's getting these techs because he's always arguing fouls or non-fouls. That's what he's about to lose a game for.
Okay. This didn't count, obviously. No,
right.
Okay.
It's flagrant.
So I want to remind everybody, Luka is second in the league in turnovers, which all translates into he's only 10th in the league in PER. Again, runaway MVP candidate.
Right.
And now he's got this on his resume, and you're still defending him.
Skip, the problem that I had with Luka this year is that he didn't come in shape. He came in and out of shape, and it took him a month, which not only set his chances of winning the MVP back the first month of the season, it hurt his team because his team was terrible getting out the box. And that's something that he's going to have to learn. You're a professional. You can't go and eat ho-hos and cupcakes and ding-dongs and then think you're going to come back and be a top-flight athlete. You're going to have to do a better job of maintaining your level of fitness, even in the offseason. I'm not saying you can't enjoy yourself, but you can't enjoy yourself to the extent in which he enjoyed himself. So it hurt his team. It hurt him. But you see him now?
Do I see him now?
You see him.
Yeah. Do you know what Shannon Sharpe would have done if Luka in a game had taken that shot at Shannon Sharpe? You would be out of your mind. You would not let it go. It might come down to you and I'll see you at the bus.
But you have to understand, Skip, Skip, football players and basketball players have different mentalities. And plus, Luka, like I said, Skip, you said the guy was 6'1", but You think he'd have swung like that on Drummond?
No.
You think that's what I'm saying? Or James Johnson?
No. No.
So you understand? Right.
Maybe Trey Young he'd swung on. Yeah. Little mice Trey.
They got something for your Knicks, too.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's okay, Skip. I don't believe it was intentional. They did the right thing.
Shannon.
They're trying to clean that up.
You should be ashamed that you're trying to defend this man.
Skip, there's nothing to defend. He was wrong.
Lord have mercy.
I can't believe you believe that was intentional.
It was totally intentional.
Oh, my goodness.
Total frustration. And he thought he could get away with it because he didn't think Sexton's a nice young man. He's not going to retaliate. And he didn't. Gave him a pass like Shannon Sharpe.
His reputation, I don't know. I'm thinking twice about Luka. I'm thinking twice about it.
Don't do that,
Thank you.
We need to talk about Aaron Rodgers, another guy I am thinking twice about. Okay, here's the latest. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers appear to be at a standstill. We have still not publicly heard from the QB. Former teammate John Kuhn told a radio show that he believes Rodgers wants to remain in Green Bay and simply wants security with his contract situation. While another former teammate, James Jones, said he believes the situation was fixable over the weekend. So, Shannon, I'm going to start with you here. Can you see Aaron Rodgers with the Packers next season? Is it happening?
It's hard to see right now. But, Skip, anytime you have a situation and there are fences that need to be mended, two things need to happen. Both parties need to acknowledge that we're both at fault here. It can't be one side says, oh, you. And the other side says, it's you. Both of you have to acknowledge we handle some things in this relationship bad, but I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. Let's come to the table. Let's sit down. This is something that I believe that's fixable.
Yep.
And we can proceed from there. And I believe that's the approach. Now, if Aaron Rodgers wanted long-term security, he went about it the best way he knew how. Oh, get me up out of here. Knowing that Jordan Love is not ready to play. Because I read there was a report that said they was thinking about taking a quarterback early. Why the hell would you take a quarterback early in the draft?
They said in the second or third round, after the first five.
But Skip, you just traded up to take a quarterback the year before, and you're already thinking about getting another quarterback?
Well, they don't have one. They don't have a qualified backup.
There are a lot of backups out there. Yeah. There are a lot of people out there. There are a lot of quarterbacks out there looking for jobs, especially a quarterback that's not going to challenge the guy that you got. Because obviously you'd want him to play, Skip. You'd want that guy to play. You believed in it. You moved up. But I believe if they were to come to the table. Now, if it's a contract extension that Aaron wants, Skip, it's going to have to be in excess of 3 years. He's not going to do, okay, we're going to give you 2021 in the 2022 season. Mm-hmm. It's going to have to go beyond that. And it's going to have to be Patrick Mahomes money. Can't be Dak Prescott money, Skip. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. So you're looking at something, what? He has this year left. So you're probably looking at another 3 years at probably $175 million, something around $46 million per. That's what he's going to be looking to get. So do I believe it can happen? Skip, I believe there are not very many things that's not fixable, that cannot be settled if calmer heads come to a table and try to address the issue, if that's what both parties want. Now, Skip, if one party wants something and the other party don't, I don't give a damn what you say. If one party wants out of this relationship, Skip, you ain't got enough money. I seen billionaires. When one party says, I want out, I don't care. Here's the check for $40 billion. Here's the check for $5 billion. If the party wants out. If Aaron Rodgers wants out, there's nothing the Packers can say. But if Aaron Rodgers, a part of him, wants to stay, I believe the Packers can sit down and say, Aaron, we handled this wrong. There are things that we should have said, we could have done better to address your concerns, and we didn't do that. Aaron should go to them and say, you know what, guys, I've been petty too. I've been petty ruxman around here. There's some things I could have handled better, some things I could have done better, said differently. So this is where we are. Okay, make the money right. Because at the end of the day, Skip, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. Now, make it make sense to me. You got $46 million for the next 3 years for me? Could that make sense to me? Do it make sense to you? Brian Gutekunst? Does it make sense to you, Mark Murphy? And I'm going to need you to go out there publicly acknowledge that I'm the man. Not Jordan Love. I'm going to need you to hear come out of your mouth. I'm the man. Aaron Rodgers is the man for the Packers for the foreseeable future, which means until at bare minimum 2025. I'm going to need you to say that.
Okay.
Or else I got the dip.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Aaron Rodgers has pulled it off again. He is a master media manipulator. He is the LeBron James of the National Football League.
I knew you were going to say that.
He is. This was beautifully executed by Aaron bleepin' Rodgers. He has managed to turn himself back into a sympathetic figure in the state of Wisconsin within Packers Nation, and now he is angled and positioned himself to get a Mahomes kind of contract to stay in Green Bay when that was the plan all along.
It was all about the money?
It was all about the money and the sympathy. He needed to erase from everybody's memory the fact that he just fell to 1-4 in NFC Championship games by stinking up the fourth quarter of a home playoff game against Tom Brady and company. And in those 5 NFC games that he's played, he is now 9 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. That's not exactly Rodgers-esque, is it, for a transcendent thrower of the football? But who remembers that now? Who remembers that Aaron Rodgers, since that long ago wild card road run to a Super Bowl victory, his one and only appearance in a Super Bowl, he did win it against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But since then, he is 7-8 in the postseason, and he's had a bunch of lucky, thank you God sort of games against Kirk Cousins and Joe Webb and the Giants boat trip game featuring Odell going to South Beach before a game at Lambeau, and the Dez caught it game, and the Mason crossbar game where the 2 intergalactic field goals saved him from losing to my guy Dak Prescott. Dez did catch it.
Stop saying
you know
that.
It, and I know it, and they would have won the game. They should have won the game. They would have gone on to win at Seattle, where they'd already won during the regular season of 2014, my Dallas Cowboys, and they would have gone to the Super Bowl and lost to Tom Brady. But that's all well and good, whatever. But the point is, even this year, Aaron got incredible breaks because he got the Rams at home in the first playoff game featuring John Walford at quarterback. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he didn't last very long because he got hurt, and that forced them to throw Jared Goff into the game with a pin in his throwing thumb, right?
Yeah.
And remember your man Aaron Donald in that game? I don't remember him because he had cracked ribs and he was a ghost, right? So Aaron got big breaks, and then in the fourth quarter, he has it 1st and goal at the 8. I just got to see it one more time, just for posterity. I want to remind everybody what happened on 1st and goal at the 8. He throws wild high to Lazard. I don't know what that was. And then on 2nd down, he's got a break over here, but he throws it across his body, and he airmails Devontae by 5 yards. And this is your favorite play of the year because go, run, you got it. And he throws back across his body to a double-covered Devontae, and it goes nowhere quickly. And his young head coach says, kick it on 4th down because he'd just seen too much. And I don't blame him. Despite all of that, this man has carefully positioned through all of his best friends to let them talk to the media, even got Brett Favre to talk to the media, to instill the fear factor in Packer Nation, and especially in Packers management, that, I want out. There's no way, there's no how that I'm coming back.
Well, Skip, if you, I think Adam Schefter said either on Rich Eisen or Dan Patrick, he had been hearing this all offseason. He just chose to broke the deal during the draft, knowing that he was going to get more bang for the...
It was on draft day.
Right. He knowing that I'm going to get more bang for my buck for this story. Skip, because if he releases this in February, it's not going to have the same dramatic impact as it does draft night, considering draft night a year ago, the Packers moved up to select a quarterback in the 1st round. So he need to send Adam Schefter a check, because that's what got the media world a buzz, is that when the story actually broke. But
I think Brett Favre just drove it all the way home by saying once he digs in, it's over, right?
But that's what you need, Skip. That's what you need.
I got it.
But if you're going to rebuild a relationship, both sides got to admit they've done some things wrong.
Now he is using, I think, a very close friend of his, John Kuhn. We had this story late in our show on Thursday. that he's saying, oh, there's grounds for a compromise here. And I was like, really? And he's a golf partner.
James Jones.
Now, James Jones, another friend of Aaron's, caught a lot of balls from him. We've had him here on the show. Great on NFL Network. And now he's saying it's fixable. So the seeds are now replanted that, oh, wait a second. Oh, this could work. Oh, please come back, Aaron. Please, we'll do whatever. What do you want? Beyond Mahomes?
How many people out there tell me, man, I hate this job. I'm quitting. And your boss come to you and says, I'm going to give you a raise. Okay. That's what happened. The ball came to the man and said, we're going to give you a raise.
What if you've been doing a bad job when it really counted?
Skip. The man has been, he was a teacher of the year. He was worker of the year 3 times. How he doing a bad job?
Except on deadlines when you got to really come with the goods. And
has he not ever come with the goods?
Yes, he has not come with the goods in the postseason regularly.
Skip, I would agree, Skip. More times than not.
Thank you.
For Aaron, but Aaron is going to have to get that monkey off of his back.
Okay.
He's going to have to come through in the championship game.
He's going to have to get
his team. Yes.
Okay, so remember, it was just 2 years ago in the championship game that he had a QBR of 33 at San Francisco on a scale of 0 to 100. That was his worst playoff game, and that's when Packers management said, we got a plan for the future. We got to trade up into the late first round to take a quarterback we think will have a bright future.
Normally people trade up in the first round, the quarterback doesn't normally get the team go 13-3 and get the team to the NFC Championship game. That's not normally when you go out and get another quarterback.
Okay, but his stats had been declining for 5 straight years.
Well, Skip,
QBR and percentage completion.
Well, if you measure Aaron Rodgers by his best season, if you measure any player by their best season, his stats are going to decline every single season. If you measure Tom Brady by his best season, his stats have been declining for the last 15 years. If you do that. Because that's what y'all do with Aaron Rodgers. That's what y'all doing with my homeboy. You can't measure the man by 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. Because if that's the measuring stick.
Aaron Rodgers just won. And you know what's coming next? Gutekunst will be forced by Packers management. Mark Murphy will force him to apologize publicly to Aaron. Want to bet? Watch, it's coming.
We know that.
He'll do a big media conference and he will apologize publicly. I mishandled this. I'm so sorry. It was my fault. He will take the fall.
Well, you got Skip. That's the way it works in a relationship. Both parties meant, but you know what, to keep the peace, Skip, sometimes it's better to keep the peace than to be right. That's the thing with a relationship. Everybody wants to be right. It's okay. I'll keep the peace. You know what? I was wrong. I should have washed those dishes. I should have left them in the sink. I should have cleaned them. I could have cut the light off. You right, babe. To keep the peace, Skip, it's not always about being right. Everybody wants to be right on every single thing. Sometimes for me, I'll keep the peace and I'll be wrong. I'll let you think you're right. But we know you did that. You were the last one downstairs.
And you know what the shrewdest move of all by Aaron Rodgers was?
What?
Campaigning to be the permanent Jeopardy host after he tried out for 2 weeks to replace the late, great Alex Trebek. And then I told you, I watched the next 2 weeks with Anderson Cooper, and I said, Anderson Cooper's better than Aaron Rodgers. There's no way he's going to get this job. And then I just watched the last week with Bill Whitaker.
Bill Whitaker,
He was so good. He was so natural. He was so authoritative.
Of course, you know what? You
60 minutes. He was made for Bill Whitaker made for the show. And would I love to see a person of color get the job at Jeopardy? Would that not be a breakthrough?
Skip.
And I said, well, he was better than Anderson Cooper. So I would be shocked if Aaron Rodgers gets this job.
Skip, you would love to see Lassie's grandson get the job over Aaron Rodgers.
No, I would not. I told you I went in open-minded. I thought he was forced. I never got comfortable with him as the guest host. And the point is, he knows it. He just put it on. He made a big public play. Like, I've even boiled it down to 46 days a year it would require. He was even talking about doing both jobs at once just to stick it to Packers management.
Skip, it's okay to campaign. I've campaigned for a lot of jobs. I've been campaigning for an Emmy. Don't seem to be working. I campaigned for this job. I've been calling you. I called Shank. I called a lot of people. So I ain't embarrassed. Guess what? If I want another job, I'm going to campaign for that one too.
Okay. So, look, Aaron Rodgers' identity is melded with Packers. He's going to finish as a Packer. He doesn't want any part. Do you know how much pressure would be on him if your Denver Broncos signed him to be the savior of the franchise?
I mean, because last time 2 historically great quarterback transfer team, it turned into championships.
Okay.
So that would be the expectation.
But he would step on the field in Denver, Colorado next year as, well, Peyton got us to 2 and 1-1. You ready?
Tom Brady took Tampa.
That's correct.
Yeah, and
he wants no part of that. He wants to finish as the highest paid quarterback in Green Bay. Way to go, Aaron. You did it.
And I'll be right there in the box. I'll be cheering for the Broncos and cheering against your Cowboys.
Okay.
No mercy. Russell Westbrook continues to put up monster numbers and can pass Oscar Robertson tonight for the most career triple-doubles. Magic Johnson has taken note of what Westbrook has been doing, saying over the weekend, quote, the things he's been able to do. Hopefully we will say, give him his love, give him his respect. This is really big. This is something I couldn't even do. I know how big it is. Shannon, how close is Russell Westbrook to Magic in terms of impact? Not even close. That's like the distance between the Earth and Venus, or Earth and Jupiter, or Pluto, Neptune. It's not even close. Skip, Magic is the greatest. What are we talking about? We're talking about the greatest point guard ever that won 5 titles. He was 3 times Finals MVP. He won 3 regular seasons MVPs in an era where they had Moses Malone, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Come on.
But the quote is from Magic, this is something I couldn't even do.
Right.
What Russ is doing.
Could he probably couldn't score or rebound. Could he assist the ball like Russ? Absolutely. Magic could not. Magic, because he was 6'9", he could not get around as well. And as he started to get older, he started having knee problems, and he definitely couldn't get around like Russ. But that's not the issue. That's not the question. Magic said, I couldn't. But Magic's impact on the game was greater. I don't know if people realize this, but Magic went to the finals 9 times in 12 years. Only 3 times did he fail to not reach the finals.
Yep.
Really? And you're talking about, come on, Skip, what are we talking about here? Skip, that's not to minimize Russ. Nobody plays harder. Nobody gives you more night in, night out. Game in, game out. Year in, year out. But impact, all those triple-doubles, how many times has he got out of the first round? 4 times in 5 years. How many times has he gotten out of the first round? Once. And that was the year in which he didn't average a triple-double. That was last year when he played with the Rockets.
Yep.
That was the only time that he got out of the first round. Now he's in the play-in tournament. There's no guarantee. Now, they're going to scare the hell out of somebody if Bradley Beal's hamstring and ankle, if he's able to go.
Yep.
But, Skip, for me, it's not close. It's not close, Skip. Look, he's going to be well over 200 triple-doubles when it's all said and done. But at the end of the day, isn't it about championships? Now, I don't believe Russell doesn't strike me as a guy that stays up late at night, like tossing and turn, man, I ain't won a championship. Get up and pace the floor. He doesn't strike me as one of those guys.
Agreed.
But that's okay. That's not to diminish what he's currently doing. But impact, like Magic, I don't believe it's close. That's just me, and I had an opportunity to see Magic every single year from his last year in college all the way till he retired. It's not close between the two. No, maybe Steph has a similar impact, but for different reasons because of the three-point shot. And Steph has won 3 titles. Steph has been an MVP. Steph has gotten out of the first round. But, Russ and Magic, the gap is huge.
Okay. So, to all your points, when I first read this last night, it just slapped me right in the face that Magic is the ultimate winner to me. I know he's quote-unquote point guard. I don't know, he's 6'9". He just won a lot of basketball games because he was born with the ability and capacity to know how to win a game. How do you get this game home as the leader on the floor of the basketball team? Whatever you want to call him, point forward or whatever. He was a point guard.
Making all the right plays at the right time.
At the right time. What did Magic always call it? Winning time.
Yes.
Last 4 or 5 minutes of a tight game. What has to get done to get you home? Obviously, Did Magic have great teams? Sure he did.
Yes.
He had Kareem, and he had Worthy on the break, and he had Byron, and he had Michael Cooper, one of the great defensive guards.
Had Norm Nixon for 2 years.
He did. They were loaded.
Yes.
They even had Kurt Rambis to do the dirty work.
Yep.
So they were great basketball teams, but Kareem was there for, what was it, like 5 years before Magic got there? And nothing happened because he needed Magic to show the team.
I think they missed the playoffs a couple times completely when Kareem was there.
Okay. So, again, was he a force? Is he the all-time greatest scorer, Kareem Abdul? Yes. We get that. But Magic knew how to win in ways Russ has never gotten it through his head how to win. There's some gene that you're born with that is the winning gene. Right. And Russ doesn't have it. But I loved what Magic said because he's stepping back saying we need to appreciate him even more than we do. And I got it. I'm with you. Because he's trying to say that he doesn't shoot from distance very well. He doesn't score in highlight ways. So when they show the highlights of a Russell game, you're like, he's not even in the highlight because there's really not much highlight to show.
Yeah, he's not shooting a 30. He's not shooting a step back three like Steph or Dame.
He is not.
He's not doing anything fancy like Luka and stuff like. No. All he does is like, you look, Skip, he's averaging 26, 16, and 16 in the month of May. I mean, Skip, he's 6'3". 26, 16, and 16.
Okay, and 3 times this year he scored more than 40 points. And he can get you on any given night 25 rebounds, and they're hustle play. They're just, I want this ball worse than you want this ball. He's 6 feet 3 inches tall. So he can't go up in the trees and fight them for a high bounce.
Although he will try.
He will try. And then, as Magic said, I had 24 assists a number of times, but so can Russ. He can get you 25-ish assists.
Yes.
What? This is unheard of. We've never seen that before. No. But when it comes down to, okay, how do you win? Can you shoot it at all? No, he can't shoot it at all. He's 31.1% from 3. That ranks 157th of 161. He's almost to the bottom of 161 qualified three-point shooters. Mm-hmm. From the free throw line, he's 64.5%. This is a point guard. That's Lonzo-esque from a year ago. Lonzo has improved dramatically, but that ranks his free throw shooting 103rd of 110 qualified. Well, look at that. Those two together just show you it's hard to overcome that unless you just don't shoot many threes, and then less and less over the last couple of weeks. He's not shooting threes much.
He was big from the free throw line the other night because he made the free throws and then he ended up blocking the shot.
Okay, and just remember, he is running away with the turnover lead in the NBA. Yeah. Running away. Yeah. He's plus 34 over Luka now. Yeah. And he's played 1 fewer game than Luka's played. Well, that's not good.
Skip, he played so fast. He's going to bounce 2 balls off his foot.
Okay.
Because he's playing so fast.
And he's going to try to dribble it through 3 people and he's going to lose the ball. Sometimes he pulls it off and it's spectacular. Right. But in PER, the ultimate basketball stat, player efficiency rating.
No, Skip. Not when he shoot that from. If he shoots what he does from the 3-point, from the field, and he turns the ball, his efficiency rating is gonna be terrible.
How about 62nd? And guess who's tied for 63rd? Your guy, Drummond, and Big Zoo for the Clippers. They're tied for 63rd in player efficiency rating. And by the way, they're just 1 notch ahead of Mason Plumlee. So he's down there with the big guys in player efficiency rating. What? And this is the guy we're raving about. Yes, and it's legit.
Yes, Skip. We should commend him for what he's accomplishing. Skip, you got to think about it. They said in his first 6 years, he only had 8 triple-doubles in his first 6 years. Oscar had 148. Now you fast forward to look at where he is now. So he's had 163 since then. Oscar only had 33 after year 6. So let that sink in. So we should applaud him. We should commend him. But the impact on the ball game, which equates to winning playoff game, winning championships, is not comparable to Magic. That's it. We're not saying Russell isn't a great player. We're not saying that he should not be commended, because he should. I commend him. When you play at that level, the best thing, Skip, is that no one will ever say he dogged it. No one will ever say that about him.
Never.
But the question was the impact. I mean, one guy got 9 finals appearances in 12 years with 5 titles.
It's why I have Magic ranked all-time on my list, second to Jordan. I got him number 2 all-time because of this, the intangible of winning.
Right.
Because Russ, to me, is too much what I call bull in China shop. When push comes to shove, he's going to push and shove. He's going to run through that brick wall to try to win the game when sometimes it doesn't require running through the brick wall. So if he gets into a one-on-one contest with the other point guard and the other point guard scores on him and lets him know about it, what is Russ prone to do going down the other way?
Russ going back at him.
I'm coming right at you. Watch this. That's not how Magic did it.
No.
Magic would just roll his eyes at you and say, okay, you think you got some momentum? I'm just going to walk this ball up the court. I'm going to slow it way down. I'm going to break your momentum. And we're going to work and get an easy shot for Cap, as he would call Kareem, right? Okay, I'm going to get Cap a dunk here. And it's going to break your momentum, and you're not going to feel like coming back down and scoring on me again.
The way Magic looked at it, if my team won, well, I got your back.
That's it. It's all that matters.
Skip, I can't get into a back and forth. I lose the game and then feel that I scored more points to you. I won the ball game or I had a triple-double. He said, nah, hey, I throw this thing to Cap. James Worthy get this triple-double. We good. We win. So I'm the better of the two.
And the next time I would see Russ, he's in a one-on-one, and he's going up the floor doing, I just rocked the baby. Right? I just rocked the baby to sleep. So really?
You and I are in agreement. Russ is to be commended. He's to be lauded. He should get flowers for what he's doing. But his impact, if anybody thinks Russ' impact on the game is the equivalent of Magic Johnson, they don't know basketball. They're not watching basketball. No. They're not students of the game, because Magic is hard to argue. You might not find it better, a more impactful player. You got to get... Now we're getting up there with the Jordans, the LeBrons, the guys that had the impact that can influence the outcomes of ball game. So while we keep commending Russ, Russ had 8 years with KD. He had another year with James Harden. 2 guys that's going to be slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famers. So let's not pretend Russ has been playing with trash his entire career, because he has not.
No.
Kevin Durant is a 4-time scoring champ, a league MVP, 2-time finals MVP. James Harden has won an MVP, led the league in assists twice, led the league in scoring 2 or 3 times. So Russ has not played with trash people.
Well, he did have Paul George and Carmelo.
Yes. So let's stop this notion where Russ ain't have anybody. Russ has had people.
Okay.
Russ just hadn't got out of the first round, and those triple-doubles have had what impact of Russ getting out of the first round, Skip? 0.
Okay. He must be applauded, and also, to me, he must be watched. I'll be watching tonight because I can't take my eyes off it.
Absolutely, I'm going to watch it, because they're going to call, if Bradley Beal is, if Bradley Beal is healthy, Skip, they're going to cause somebody some problems. You don't want to see them 4 games, because you know why, Skip? Because he can do just that. He might go get you 25, 25, and 25. And Bradley Beal might drop 50 on your head. And then what?
I'm watching.
Exactly.
No mercy. Well, get this. DK Metcalf ran an official 10.37 seconds in the 100-meter dash at the USA Track and Field Golden Games yesterday. He did not make the final, but finished 15th overall out of 17 runners. The receiver still drew lots of praise on Twitter, including Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes, for how fast he can still move at 6'4" and 235 pounds. So, Shannon, how surprised were you by his performance?
I was very surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. I was thinking he'd run somewhere between 10.55 and 10.7, considering, Skip, his size, considering his lack of technique, considering that he wasn't known as a high school sprinter. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, he ran 4.33 with some training, but now that's 60 more yards, 60 meters that he's going to have to run farther than what he ran at the combine. And so for him to run that time, 10.37 at 235 pounds, that's moving. Given his technique, I mean, because, Skip, when you run professionally, Skip, your time, people say your time is measured every 4 years, but it's not. It's measured in seconds, because that's the difference between winning and losing. And reaction time, drive phase, how much gain are you? If you look at him, Skip, you see the top sprinters, he's got up and down. He has too much dorsiflexion in his ankle, so he's going up and down. Ankle needs to stay cocked, so you're launching yourself forward. And you look at him, he gets to 50 meters, the other elite guys, they start to pull away. And that's something that he doesn't understand, that's how you do it. How can you run without decelerating as fast as he did. But Skip, for him to run that, he had to be training. I'll say he's been training 6 weeks to 8 weeks, 2 months. And to run 10:37 is to be respected. He brought a lot of eyeballs to track and field, because really the only time we talk about track and field is the Olympics and maybe the world. We had people talking about trying to find and watch this because of DK Metcalf ran. So I'm happy that he was able to get it done. But now you get an opportunity to see. You see how fast he was moving, and he finished 15th out of 17 guys. That lets you know. Now, there's a great chance that the guys that you saw yesterday, they're probably not going to make the Olympic finals. That's the level of speed that he were talking about. But DK Metcalf, you should be commended, bro. To run that fast at that size, that's exceptional.
Blew me away. I thought 10-6. That's what we talked about on Thursday.
Even Otto Bolden, Skip, and Otto Bolden knows track. If you want to see, I love listening to Otto Bolden and Michael Johnson talk track. He said, I thought he'd run somewhere between 10-6 and 10-7. I thought 10:55 and 10-7. So we were kind of close. And he went 10:37?
What?
He acquitted himself very well.
6 feet 4 inches, as you say, 235 pounds. I'm pretty sure my eye test told me he was the biggest man on the track.
He's 70 pounds bigger than those guys.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Now, the difference, obviously, between a sprinter and a marathoner is sprinters need muscle. They need to be ripped.
Right.
They are powerful.
Yeah, they need explosion.
You have to be explosive because you're not going to be able to sustain that for more than 100 meters, maybe 200 if you run the 200.
Right.
But at some point, the marathoner is going to have to just be a waif because you can't. It's the physics of how far can you carry your 125 pounds.
Because here's the thing, Skip, muscle requires oxygen.
It does.
And you need, that's why those little Kenyans, that's why the guys that win the marathon, Skip, they weigh 120, 115. Because they need to carry as little weight as possible over 26 miles.
They're just gifted in processing oxygen faster and better and longer.
They can dissipate lactic acid better than...
Okay. So when I saw this happen, and I looked at the results that, again, he finished dead last. He didn't finish last in his heat, but in the overall.
Overall, he's 15th out of 17.
Right. 15th out of 17. That's actually a huge upset to me. That you could actually, because these are hardcore Olympic hopefuls and seasoned professionals. That's what they were. And he was up against it. And by the way, he says this is the first time he's ever competed in 100 meters. He did not run the 100 in high school. So this is the first time that you step on a track and try to compete against the best our country has to offer, right? And you came within 0.41 seconds, so it's not even a half a second, of the winner of the race, who was Cravon Gillespie. So that's still a lot on the track. Like a half a second is a long time on the track. But still, it's impossibly impressive that he had the guts to go do it and that he acquitted himself that well.
Skip, it's the equivalent of somebody going out there, if Steph Curry goes out there and says, you know what, I'm going to play golf. And he goes out there and he beats 2 professionals in the field. Because those guys are professionals. They do this.
It'd be the equivalent to me of making the cut where you survive to Saturday, Sunday.
And that's the thing. But Skip, get a guy credit. Like you said, he's not known as a sprinter. Now, Anthony Schwartz, the guy that was at Auburn, Skip, he ran 10:09 and 10:13 legit times in high school. So I believe if he were to train, he probably could go low. But Skip, he's 175 pounds. This dude is 235. And most sprinters, I don't know how many people have ever been around a sprinter, but they're small. Tops 170. I mean, I saw Justin Gatlin up close, and I've seen Michael Johnson up close. Michael Johnson is a tiny, tiny man, 165. Justin Gatlin probably was 170. Most of them, Skip, Mike Rodgers is probably 160.
Bolt was taller.
Bolt was taller, but Skip, he's 6'6", 205. So you imagine 6'6", 205, that's still thin. But with the lack of technique, if you watch, he comes out, he pops straight up. He doesn't understand how to propel himself and stay low. Drive. But Skip, 10:37 and not being a sprinter, not having a sprint background. That's unbelievable, man.
So USA Track and Field tweeted about this, saying, for everyone asking if we have a spot open on our relay team for DK, NFL players are welcome to come test their speed against real speed at the Olympic trials. So they were a little offended that he thinks he could just step out there and do anything. And he said afterwards that I didn't mean any disrespect to anybody. No. DK said, I wasn't trying to disrespect these guys. I just wanted to test myself against the best.
Right.
Well, he did.
Right.
And there was some humility involved. He got humbled.
Yeah, they go spank. But Skip, like Trevon Bromell has already run 980. He's right now the front runner. Now, Christian Coleman got suspended, and Christian Coleman has already been below. He's run well below 980. But, Skip, like I said, you see this. You covered the game. I was up close to Willie Gault. I was up close to Sam Grady. I was up close to James Jett because they all
played pro football
that ran in the Olympics.
They ran.
Sam Grady won a silver medal in the 100 meters, won the gold medal in the 4x1. So did James Jett.
Yep.
When you
Willie
see
Gault was a
hurdler. Skip, when you see it up close, you like the acceleration. Like Tyreek, you see Tyreek. Tyreek is a football player that actually has track speed. He's gotten too muscle bound now, so I don't know if he could, probably pull a muscle, try to,
He's talked about trying to go back on the track, yeah.
But for DK, Skip, with no background in sprinting, after 6 weeks, 8 weeks of training, to run this kind of time, it lets you know the level of athlete that it is.
Yep.
So now, we're flipping around. USA Track and Field, send your best and brightest out on the football field. Send your best and brightest out there.
Touche.
You know what I'm saying? The camps are coming up shortly.
See how long they last.
Yeah. Ask Ronaldo Nehemiah. Skeets Nehemiah was as great as they came.
I was there.
He ran the shallow cross. It was a zone. He should have sat it down. He kept going. And the rest we say is history. It's a different ball. It's a different mentality.
So
as a
DK was
player.
asked later after the race, any plans to continue to train to try to reach the Olympic trials? He's got a long ways to go. Yeah. And he finally said, you know what? It's time to get back to football. It's time for mini camp.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is, I don't mind him doing this for a while because it is a great way to stay in shape.
Right.
I'll buy that.
Right.
But at some point, you need to be catching passes from your quarterback. Right now, as we speak, maybe right now it's literally as we speak, somewhere down in Tampa, Brady might be throwing to his receivers because that's all they do. They work on timing and rapport through the offseason so that when it's 3rd and 8 at Lambeau Field, you just know where each other is going to be. Right?
A lot of guys actually do track workouts. A lot of the skill position, the DBs, the wide receivers, they do that. And because I did that later in my career, you don't realize how technical running is. People think you just get out there and just run. But there's so much technique in running, and then to run fast and to run faster, it becomes more and more technical. So he doesn't have the technique. He's just fast. He's just a big, fast guy. And it lets you know, DK, you ain't gonna sneak up on anybody anymore. They gonna give you cushion now. They gonna like, man, DK gonna go blow by us. Man, I take my hat off because I did not expect him to run that fast. I've seen my brother ran 1050 in high school.
Did he?
Yeah, he ran 1050 in high school.
At what size?
He was 6 foot, 176.
Really?
Yeah.
He was that small.
He was that small, yeah.
Really?
Because he played it.
He played 210, 212.
Wow, he was
played big.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. So 21-2, 200 meters, but that's moving. For the guy that size, I mean, I've only seen Herschel. Herschel could run that size, but Herschel was 220, 225. That's 10 more pounds, 2.5 more inches than what Herschel. But Herschel could run, 10, 20.
I told you, I covered indoor meets with Herschel in the offseason when he was a Dallas Cowboy. He ran one in Dallas, the old Times Herald indoor meet, February, I believe it was. And he placed in the 60s.
Yeah. He could get out. Yeah. You know what? Who I would like to see? I'd like to see Time run.
Yeah.
But Skip, you remember Ron Brown? Ron Brown played with the Rams. He was another track guy that could fly.
I couldn't believe, I honestly couldn't believe the negative reaction that some people had with this. I thought it was refreshing to see from DK. He brought a lot of good attention.
People don't like to see other people come from outside sports and try. It's like actors, Skip. Actors don't like to see someone that doesn't have a trained background come in their genre. Or rappers. Man, that joke why he got to rap, play basketball, play football. And they take their little sport, they take their thing serious, Skip.
Especially knowing that DK was probably not going to win that, and he still went out and competed. I just thought it was actually really cool to see, and I liked what Skip mentioned. It's time to get back to football.
No mercy.
After sitting out several more games due to ankle stiffness, LeBron's return to the court is expected to be cautious as the Lakers are nearly locked into a playoff seed, and the superstar doesn't appear to be 100%. Yahoo Sports senior NBA insider Chris Haynes is now joining us. Chris, what are you hearing about LeBron's health for right now and the playoffs?
Well, a source close to LeBron James has informed me that LeBron had 2 good days of working out at a high level.
Chris, be quiet.
Great. I'm telling you, that's what I'm told. That's what I'm told, Shannon.
I was trying to undersell Skip.
Thank you, Chris. Continue.
I was told he's feeling great, and he plans to return either Tuesday against the Knicks or in that second game of a back-to-back Wednesday against the Rockets. And so for his outlook on the playoffs, if that's the way he's feeling right now, and I was told he had some really rigorous workouts, and he felt really good afterwards, felt great. That was the word they used. He's felt great. If that's the way he's feeling right now, then his prognosis for the playoffs, it definitely has to be, it's better than what he said, I believe it was last week when he came out and said that, he's not going to be 100%. And that might not be the case, but I think right now the prognosis is looking much better than it did a week ago.
Go ahead. No more excuses.
Chris.
He's ready to go, and he's ready to star again. I don't want to hear he's a shell of himself. He can't push off that ankle. I don't want to hear it.
Skip, I was trying to undersell you and then over-deliver. Because, yes, I was told that he had 2 great days. And
you were told that also?
Yes. And
you did not reveal that in our A block of this show. You withheld information that would have hurt your case in the opening block of the show.
Because I was going to give me some due. I was going to get my due back from you by not divulging the information. And then Chris Haynes.
Thank you, Chris Haynes, for being objective and honest and being the great reporter that you are.
But Chris, I think the thing is that, from what I heard, is that the extra week really helped. He came back, he saw that he wasn't where he needed to be. And so the extra week, so now he played Tuesday, now he's going to be out, he wasn't going to play again until Thursday, Friday. He took that off and then he played again it was going to play for Tuesday or Wednesday this coming week. So that week really did him good because it gave him an opportunity to see, I'm not where I need to be, and it's not gonna get any better. Let me set this thing down for another week and then go back at it, try to go back at it again. And that's why he wasn't traveling, because he was home, he was getting treatment, round-the-clock treatment, and so he's feeling good. We'll see. Like Chris said, they believe it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday, but he will not play. I was told they don't believe he'll play in back-to-back games, or he shouldn't play. But you know how Bron head like this table is hard. Bron going to do what Bron wants to do. He wants to get out there. He wants to be out there with his teammates. But I'm anxious to see what he looks like when he comes back.
So you have high expectations.
No, I got like a 6.5, 7.
You start out 5, 5.5 on your confidence level, scale of 1 to 10, right?
Yep.
And then it vaulted all the way up to 7 because you start thinking, well, he's going to be okay. So now that we know LeBron James is going to be 100%,
now he's going to be
100% for the stretch run and the playoffs. Now we turn our sights, Mr. Haynes, back to his co-star. Anthony Davis, for the last week, has been the best player in the league. I think he's had the best run over the last, starting with the Denver game. I know he got hurt again, back spasms against the Clippers. But in the games that we've seen him against Jokic, and then the last 2 games, obviously, at Portland, and last night against Phoenix, he just dominated. So my question to you, Chris, is also about his health, because he is fragile. It's always something he even reached late in the game last night for his calf, and I thought, did he just strain his calf again? And I guess it was a cramp because he just sort of stretched it out and he kept going. So, Chris, do you trust Anthony Davis's health going forward into the playoffs?
Well, I'll say this. I trust it a little bit more than I did when he was in New Orleans. And that's why I've never talked to AD about this, but that would be a good talking point if I, able to have that conversation with him, is that I felt like he's been dealing with injuries a little bit different since he's been with the Lakers, meaning like fighting through them.
Correct.
Pushing himself a little bit more. And even last night's game when he had 42 points, dominant performance on both ends of the floor, there was an alley-oop late in the game that he had. And then afterwards he screamed and shouted, "I'm back." So that lets me to believe that, it was a process he was going through. We knew this wasn't the AD that we seen before that injury. So he's getting to that point. So do I trust him? I trust him a little bit more, mostly aside with LeBron James in his ear and watching LeBron and watch how he takes care of his body, and not just take care of his body, watching LeBron take it to the extra level when he does get these nagging injuries. Because I think a lot of players, and I'm not saying AD does it, but I think a lot of players, once they feel some bit of discomfort, they shut it down for a little bit instead of knowing that, that's another level. You can get past that. And so I saw that a lot this year with the Los Angeles Lakers and last year as well. And so I trust them a little bit more now.
Okay, so now I want you and then Shannon to go here with me. There was no Kuzma last night. There's obviously no Schroeder now for a little while. Are you cheering no Kuzma? Is that what you just did?
No. I was thinking about something.
Okay. And yet the point is, there have been so few reps with a team that is a very different team from last year's Lakers. To me, what is your trust factor in the chemistry and cohesion of this group going into the playoffs? Start with Chris.
You got to be concerned. You have to be. I mean, to overlook what the Lakers have gone through with the injuries, the COVID sit-outs, you can't, even though they have some type of cohesion being that the bulk of these guys played together, but still, Dennis Schroeder hasn't been there in the trenches with them, for real meaningful games. And so, same with Andre Drummond. And so you're going into a play-in tournament, because that's where they're likely headed. You go into a play-in tournament facing what I think is going, if you had to pick a matchup to be the play-in tournament for the first regular season and regular style play-in tournament, Golden State Lakers, come on, that's as good as it's going to get. Mm-hmm. I'm not feeling comfortable. I will feel like if I'm a Laker fan, I feel good that, you feel like you got the two of the best players in the game on your team. Aside from that, cohesion, chemistry, and all that stuff in a one-game scenario, I don't feel good at all, especially with these guys coming back so late. They're not going to have a lot of time to gel.
And that's where the Warriors have the advantage, because the lion's share of their guys, Draymond knows Steph like the back of his hand. That Joe get the rebound, and he knows Steph is running somewhere. He's going to pass it behind his back and going to get Steph a wide open three. But like you said, these two guys on the court, I'm getting the ball. Somebody else is going to have to beat me. Steph Curry's not going to beat me. I'm blitzing him. I'm trapping him. I'm getting the ball out of his hand. If Kent Bazemore, Oubre, Lee, those guys, if they want to go for 30, so be it. But I know, watching Steph over the last month, Skip, I know he can go get me 10 to 15 threes in a given night. I know he can get 50 to 60. I'm not letting Steph Curry beat me. Draymond want to have a 20-20 ball game, so be it. Lee, all these other guys, but Steph Curry, you're not finna get 30. You're not finna get 40, 50 and beat me.
In a one-shot deal, your Lakers would beat Steph's Warriors by 20.
No, I like series, because anything can happen. That's the difference between football and other team sports, is because everything is a game 7 in football. And always in a series, the best team will win. You can't get lucky 4 times, Skip. You can get lucky. You can say, you know what, if New England plays the Giants 7 times, they're probably going to beat them 4 out of 7. They're going to win. They're going to win the Super Bowl if it's a 4 out of 7. But one game, anything can happen. I don't like it.
Is Clay there? No.
Skip.
Is KD there? No. Is Wiseman there? No.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. A rolled ankle here, a rolled ankle there. And then what?
Well, who's rolling the ankle? Kuzma?
Man, see, there you go. When you got jokes over here talking about some Kuzma. He always trying to joke. He know good and well. You saw Kuzma the Friday night, right? What did he put on tape for you?
I've seen other nights when he just lit it up and closed games.
Yeah, I seen him be lit it up. He had 25, but they were getting blown out. Nah, we don't do that here, Skip. We don't do that. But hey, you see what we need? We got guys that got a Gasol playing well, can bother Yoke, Drum. I got to keep him out of foul trouble, because you're going to have a big body. You got Nurkic, you got Rudy Gobert, you got Yoke. So you got guys that got to deal with big guys, Skip. Everybody got a big guy. Drummond.
They got to worry about Golden State. We talk about Nurk. You talking about Jokic. You got to get past Golden State.
They got to get past us. Stop playing, Chris Haynes. They got to get past us. Who they got for AD? Did you see AD?
Well, I'm saying, I see AD. But Golden State, they don't have no problem with chemistry right now. They might not be good up to top to bottom roster-wise, but they know how to play. You do know we got the chemistry professor, right? We got the chemistry professor. He coming back in 2 days. The professor of the class.
100% healthy.
See, there you go, Skip. Now I'm just saying, the man coming back. You already tried to put 100%. You know he's not 100%.
The chemistry professor is going to want to eliminate one man from the rotation. That is the big penguin.
No.
Andre Drummond does not fit. I first guessed it before it happened. He does not fit.
He fit.
And you say, well, he's kind of an offensive force in the low post. And did you see the miss that he had last night? I want to see it one more time. This is the big penguin. Andre, it's a layup. It's a layup. It's like a 1-foot shot for a 6'10" guy, and he missed it. How do you miss this? That's the guy.
He was trying to play.
You know what LeBron would do? He'd look at Vogues and say,
no, he wouldn't.
Get him out.
We got 7 offensive rebounds, Chris Haynes. That's 7 more opportunity to get points on the board. That's what he gave us. He gave us 10 rebounds in less than 20 minutes. So imagine if he give us 30 minutes. That's 15 boards. He gonna get like 6 or 7 offensive rebounds every night. You're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
You in trouble.
Yep.
That's all right.
What do you think, Chris Haynes, about Andre Drummond?
Well, last time I was on, we discussed him, and I kind of questioned his fit. I felt like they were trying to force him into that lineup and force him to start playing alongside with AD and him. And I understand that when the season is at the latter stages, you got to try to force the issue. But I'm not sold on the fit, guys. I'm not sold. You know,
Thank you.
It's one thing if I feel like he was going to come in here and just be a defensive presence. Defensively, he's not bad, but he's not one of the centers that you look up in the high echelons of center defenders. You know, he's not really a shot blocker, but he is a big body. But, you know, like I said, I have my concerns about not just Gasol, but I mentioned last time, Montrezl Harrell. You know, Montrezl has been, that's the reigning sixth man of the year. And his minutes are dwindling. And he's sharing minutes with 3 centers. Teams don't use 3 centers usually. So, you know, I could see some drama being created later down the road. But I don't know. It's still early. I'm still waiting. I'm going to hold out hope. But as of right now, the fit has been iffy.
So, Chris, before we move on, give us a quick thought because you're close to the Portland Trail Blazers. Something is going on up there because they got it going on. What's happening?
Well, I think, there was a lot of, I was critical of the franchise and saying they don't have enough real quality pieces around Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. They've kind of reached deep down right now, and they've changed some things, offensively a lot. A lot of times when Dame will bring the ball up, if he passes it, he doesn't get that ball back. Portland's offense is just a free-flowing, anybody can get their shot off type of offense. And there wasn't much structure, much discipline. And a lot of guys were frustrated with their roles. And I wrote about that. But I think I look at the way Dame has got off. He's got off these last 4 or 5 games and getting back to playing at his old self. And I've seen him pass the ball, and lo and behold, I see guys actually give it back to him. You know what I mean? Usually he'll get trapped at the top of the key, he'll pass it, and then they'll go up. But no, they've been going the extra mile to get him the ball back. And I think when the ball is in his hand and when he's able to make decisions, I think it puts the Blazers in a better situation. So, look, they're playing better. They're playing good. Are they a high echelon team? I still don't think so. I think they still need some help. But the way that they were playing was, I think that was a disgrace of the coaching staff. The coaching staff need to up their game and do better. And I think management in the offseason will have to make some improvements.
Well, we're going to make Drummond fit. I don't know about you, but I went to a store when I was growing up.
You still on that?
Yeah. Guess what? They had one Izod shirt, and it wasn't my size. I made it my size because I was getting that Izod shirt, Chris Haynes. So guess what? We got Big Drummond, and we're going to make it work.
Do you have a photo
but how long did that shirt
fit? Yeah, exactly.
How long did that shirt fit, though?
Once I got into it, I laid down in the bed and stretched it out a little bit. I was straight.
Then you were the big alligator.
Was it forever?
But it was an Izod. You know we had the Izod back in the day, Chris.
I know. That was style. Chris, we're going to have you stick around. Great info on Dame. Great info on LeBron. Shannon, I can't believe you were withholding information. We will get back to that later.
No mercy,
Get ready for the biggest season ever with the release of the 2021 NFL schedule Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on FS1 and NFL Network. Don't miss the first look at the entire 17-game regular season. Plus, starting Wednesday, fans can purchase single-game tickets at NFL.com/tickets. Cannot wait for that. We can plan ahead. But we got to talk about this. Luka Doncic was ejected yesterday after an aggressive strike to the groin area on the Cavs. On Sexton. After the game, Luka brushed the play off as being unintentional, saying, quote, "After I saw the video, I knew I hit him, but it wasn't nothing on purpose. I think that kind of stuff happens a lot in games, but I don't know. That's my explanation. It obviously wasn't on purpose. It was just two guys fighting for a rebound, I guess." Chris Haynes, he's still with us. Chris, are you buying Luka's explanation here?
I'll give him this one.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is, if you look at his body, his body position, he was relaxed. He didn't know anybody was behind him at all, or he should have known because there's 5 guys on the court. But he was aware that Colin Sexton was like right behind him. And so when Colin Sexton got in position for rebounding position, he hit Luka, and Luka kind of just reacted. It reminds me when I was in school, guys and Jenny. If I get hit in the ear, when I get a flick in the ear, my automatic reaction, I'm slapping somebody. Like I'm slapping because I'm in a relaxed state.
Sure.
I'm not expecting somebody to come and flick my ear. And so, and I look at, I think Luka, he was going down with his fist. I don't think he intentionally went to strike him in the groin. I think he was just swinging off a reaction. Obviously, that's something that he cannot continue to do, because if he does, then we're going to see a pattern, and then we'll start to question his motives. But right here, I'll have to give him a pass. It's still, still justified for this one.
If that was Grayson Allen, Skip, I'd say he did that on purpose.
Okay, but he has a track record.
No, yeah, exactly. And Luka, thank you.
Now he does.
Thank you. One time. This is the first time that we've seen Luka do this. I believe that because Colin Sexton had position and he had shoved Luka, and Luka was basically trying to get it like, "Get your hands off me." And he went a little, lower than what he intended.
I'd say he did.
He went a little lower, but he wanted to get his hands off him. Skip, you know how when somebody's holding you, when somebody got that, when somebody grab you, "Get your hands off me."
Okay, but that's a slap down.
Slapped, get your hands off.
He did not slap down.
Luka is 6'7", 6'8". Colin Sexton, so that damn the man down here. I mean, he right there, so he gotta swing down to try to hit him. He tried to get his hands off him. And when you swing freely, you might accidentally hit the guy. But I'm like Chris, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because he doesn't have any history, and I don't believe he intended to hit him in the groin. But the intent only matters to Luka, because guess what? Colin Sexton still got hit in the groin, and he got tossed. So he knows now he can't react like that.
I am so ashamed of both of you two for giving this man a pass on a blatant, obvious shot to the groin. It was ready, aim, fire. He looks down, he rears back, and he throws.
No, he didn't.
And it was aimed at the groin. Again, Colin Sexton gives him a break after the game because he knows that the media adores Luka. He knows the media too often protects Luka, so he didn't want any part of this postgame. And here it is right before everybody to see. Both you and Chris are defending. Now, you love Baby Bird, as you call him, and the mere fact that you compare him to your childhood idol and hero, Larry
But I'm not
Joe
the only
Bird.
one. Everybody else is doing it.
Why?
Because you know why. You see the similarities.
Luka can't shoot a lick. He can't shoot from three. He can't shoot from the free throw line.
Better.
That's all Larry Bird did, both of those.
Getting better.
He's not getting better. He's the same as he was last year. He's 35.5% from three. It's pathetic. It ranks 123rd of 161 qualified. From the free throw line, he's 89th of 110 qualified at 72.3%. That is very un-Bird-like.
How many other guys that we've seen like that? He and Nikola Jokic that can score the basketball like Larry, that can rebound the ball like Larry, and can assist the ball like Larry.
Okay, so back to this. Look, Colin Sexton says when you're hand fighting, you slap down on hands. He didn't raise his hand up and slap down. He goes sideways right into the groin. I want to see it one more time. It's a groin shot. It's just straight. It's ready, aim, fire.
Skip your son of man. Skip the man.
Lost it. He lost it for a second. He got frustrated with the 6'1" guy, and he said, no, and just popped him right in the midsection.
He tried to punch him in the stomach.
No, he did not. He went low. You know, and I know. He went CP3 Memorial. I'm going to get you back. And we saw CP3 do it in the, what was it, the quarterfinals of the ACC.
He did a couple. He did it,
right? Yeah. Who was that on? Hodges? I think
Hodges, yeah.
Yeah, he got him good. And we've seen Chris do it 2 or 3 times in the NBA.
Right.
Chris just loses it for a second, and he goes over the edge.
But now, Skip, it's an automatic ejection because we just saw P.J. Tucker get ejected for a game last week for doing the very same thing, is that he got caught on the back screen, and the guy picked him, they called a foul on him, but somehow P.J. Tucker's hand just, got him.
All right. Well, this wasn't even subtle. This wasn't camouflaged.
Go ahead.
Well, the pattern that is there with Luka is that he does loses his cool and gets frustrated. That's why, with the compound of technicals and putting himself in a situation where next technical will lead to an ejection. So even though this is a different situation, it still ties in with, keeping your composure and not keeping your composure. And he didn't in that particular situation. So like I said, this is something to monitor moving forward. And I think players are going to test Luka. Because, he's like, I've seen him go toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano trash talk with Montrezl Harrell last year in the bubble when Harrell was with the Clippers. So he'll go back and forth. But I think this will lead to players testing him, seeing if they can get under his skin. And it's going to be up to Luka to see how he handles himself.
Okay, but here's the point. Would Luka have taken that cheap shot at Montrez? No way, because he knows Montrez would not stand for it. Would he have tried to do it to Marcus Morris in the bubble last year when Marcus was guarding? No way.
No, Skip. This is what Colin Sexton said. He said it was just a box-out play. Usually whenever someone is hand-checking, then you punch down or you swing down. It was just in the groin. But it's all good. So he said...
I told you he's afraid to criticize Baby Bird because he knows you're going to be all over it.
Why am I going to be all over it? That's his groin. He got the right to defend his groin.
Did you see what the referee said after the game?
Right.
An aggressive strike to the groin area.
Yeah,
that's what he called it.
It was.
Okay, well then he didn't swing down to stop hand checking.
Yeah.
He didn't go like this. No, he went like this.
Like, man, get your hands off me.
No, he didn't. He struck him right in the groin. And you're letting him get away with it?
And to Skip's point, Luka had about a split second to turn around and see who that was. If he turned around and seen that was Markeith Morris, I think he would have.
Yeah.
I do. There was enough time to see who that was.
Thank you.
Skip. So in other words, Skip wanted suspended for the entirety of the playoff, Chris. That's what Skip wants.
I just want it known that he lost his cool to the point he went completely over the edge and just popped him right in the you-know-what.
Skip.
That's what he did.
He got 15 texts, so clearly he's lost his cool on more than one occasion.
He's lucky this wasn't a technical issue or he'd been gone for a game. Right?
It happens.
It happens?
Yeah,
How can you defend this man? Hey, does this man not complain more than anybody in the history of basketball?
Most superstars complain. Chris, you watch Nikola Jokic. I think Nikola Jokic complains just as much as Luka.
No, he doesn't.
Did you see him Saturday night? Every time he...
Not as much. He's up there.
Yes.
He's up. Hey, Luka is up there.
Jokic.
The Joker is up there. But I got to put Luka in a class of his own right now.
Thank you. And I want to remind everybody, this still young man was the runaway preseason favorite to be the MVP of this league. And this is what you get back?
20. Yeah, all you get back is 28, 8, and 8. That's all you get back. But he's...
And 15.
15 texts.
And 15 pounds because he came in overweight because all he did, he was a runaway Twinkie eating champion too. But now he done got his shape. He learned his lesson. Rick Carlisle called him out.
He is a gifted scorer of the basketball because he's got some weird, awkward Euro gait that they just can't time up in the lane. I give you that. He's stronger than he looks. He plays stronger in the lane than he looks. And he is a gifted passer.
Yeah.
But he's got a lot wrong with him because he can't shoot and he complains way too much.
Only getting better.
Yep.
Did you know, Skip, he was the fastest to 5,000 points?
Okay, good. And where's it getting Dallas, the 5th seed?
Hold on, wait a minute.
Right.
Skip, he's 22. The man is 22.
He's
Give
been
him a
playing
couple
pro
years.
basketball for 8 years.
Oh, Lord, heaven. You know,
Well, he has.
you know what?
This is one of those topics I got nothing to add.
He's just mad because he ain't on the Spurs. I bet you take him if he's on the Spurs.
Chris, we are so lucky to have you. Thank you for your insight and joining us today. No mercy. Former Packers head coach Michael Holmgren said during a radio show interview that he doesn't think Green Bay has handled the Aaron Rodgers situation correctly. He also went on to explain what he would have done in the same situation. Take a listen.
I would call him in. I said, look, we're going to do this, but this is how it's going to affect you. We got to get ready for when you retire. You got to kind of think of the franchise, but nothing's going to happen now. You're the man. You're the guy.
Yeah.
And, or somehow. Then if he didn't like that, now all of a sudden you're at the situation you have it.
Hey, Shannon, I'm curious. Is he right about how the Packers have handled this?
Simple. Been saying this all along. That's what Mike Holmgren said. You call the guy in, you say, look, Aaron, we got to think about life after you. We're going to probably take a quarterback here. Doesn't affect you. You're going to be our guy moving forward. But you don't do what they did, have the guy find out when Commissioner Goodell, the Packers have traded up, and with the 26th pick, they select Jordan Love. You can't let him hear about it like that, Skip. It's as simple. Quarterbacks carry more weight normally in organizations than any other player. You treat the players fair. You don't treat them all the same. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, the Peyton Manning, the John Elways, the Dan Marinos, they got treated differently, and rightfully so. All you have to do is, like Coach Holmgren said, you bring Aaron in. Aaron, this is what we're thinking. And if he doesn't like that, now we're going to have a different conversation.
That's what he ended his remarks with. And if he doesn't like that, ... like then, he's saying, I don't know what I would do.
Right. But at least you prepared him. And I like, Skip, look, it's never easy hearing that you're possibly going to be replaced. It's like any relationship. When somebody wants to move on, Skip, it hurts. But at least they were up front with you and told you. They didn't sneak willy-nilly around, and then all of a sudden you watch it on TV and you see them out. Like, hold on, wait a minute. And that's what happened to Aaron Rodgers. He basically saw it on TMZ. He did not know the person that he was in a relationship with was taking another quarterback. He had to hear about it on the draft. Just call him in. Aaron, you're our guy. You're going to be our guy for the foreseeable future, which is going to be a long time. And we're so committed to you, we're willing to offer you a contract extension to let you know that we want you as our quarterback. But we just want to prepare for down the road. Skip 5 years away. You got 4 years plus the option. Then you can make a decision. But I agree with Coach Holmgren. You just be upfront with guys like him, and then you move forward. But people the problem that I have, the only problem, before I let you go, Skip, the only problem that I have is people trying to make this unique to Aaron Rodgers that he's the only one. We know Joe and Steve did not have a good relationship. You were in Montana and Steve Young.
Yep.
Skip, you were in situation. What was the relationship like with Roger Staubach and Craig Morton? Because somehow Craig Morton ended up in Denver. I don't know how he got there, but he got there, right? Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. So we know.
Craig Morton knew immediately Rodger was better. He just knew it. But there was no doubt about it. Remember, Rodger came as a 28-year-old rookie.
Right. But let me ask you a question, Skip. You thought he was okay with that? No,
he
wasn't.
Had no choice.
But that's my point, Skip. It's not about choice. It's just the fact of the matter is you could have, like I said, you could have told the guy that this is what you're going to do. And then, like Aaron, we're still, like I said, you're still our guy. We're committed to you. And we're willing to offer you an extension to show you the level of commitment that we have to you. But that's not how they did it. And so they created a problem that I don't believe they needed to create. Like I said, Skip, as Coach Holmgren said, he could have reacted like, well, I'm still upset. And then then you'd have to address it in another way. Mm-hmm. But I just think the thing is that if you let him know early, I don't believe it would have gotten to the level that it's gotten to.
Okay. For those who have forgotten, Mike Holmgren did coach the Packers for 7 years, I believe.
Yeah, from 92. Mm-hmm. 92, yeah, from 92.
98.
Yes.
And you faced him in a Super Bowl and beat him.
Yes, he coached my brother in Green Bay.
And he coached your brother, and he did win a Super Bowl.
And he tried to recruit me to Seattle.
He did?
He did.
And he did well in Seattle.
He did.
They had success. They should have won that game. To me, that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I have high regard for Mike. Mm-hmm. I also think he's taking pot shots from a distance, and it's unrealistic what he's talking about because, you sit down, Aaron, you lock the door, and you say, we're going to figure this out right here, right now. I need to move forward. Is Aaron going to swallow that any better than he swallowed seeing it on TV? Will he like it anymore? Ultimately, will he like it anymore no matter what you tell him, how you inform him, if you do it ahead of schedule or right on time? If he just sees it on TV, will he like it any better?
Let me ask you a question. You said that he was wrangling all along for a contract extension. Mm-hmm. If you tell him you're going to take a quarterback, but we're committed to you by giving you a contract extension, do you think he handles it differently?
Okay, but they offered a new extension to
after they
Aaron
took
already.
The quarterback and after they didn't tell him they were taking him.
Okay, now we're out of context, and we go back a year ago, and what was the context? Aaron had alienated everybody in management because he can be a blame deflecting, finger-pointing diva. You know it, and I know it. We've seen big bombshell stories about it. And they were not happy, and reportedly Mark Murphy called him and said, this time I chose the new head coach. Right. This time, don't you be the problem.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah, he said that.
Okay, so then Aaron goes out to San Francisco for that would have been his fourth NFC Championship game, and he stinks it up, and he turns it over 3 times. They got run off the field. They didn't have a chance. I give you that. But he wasn't very good. Had a QBR of 33 on a scale of 0 to 100, and they're thinking he is in decline. We have to move forward. And sometimes you don't know until draft night, how can you go up? Will this deal work for you? Because you have to see how the board starts to fall. Can we actually go up into the first round and pull the trade off? Can we get a Jordan Love that we do like? Maybe we don't love him, but we like him. And we think he might be the future, and we want to take a shot. Well, if you alert Aaron to that, what if you alert him to that and it doesn't happen? Well, now you've made him mad again.
That's okay. It didn't happen.
Okay.
It didn't happen. But this is what it costs you, Skip. Now you're going to have to bump his salary from $33 million a year to somewhere north of $45 million a year. You're going to have to add on extra years. So now, instead of you having no money, we could walk away from Aaron after 2021. You're going to have to, now you're about to be indebted to him for another $100 million. Because of you. Because you chose to, ruffle your feathers, try to puff your chest. Skip, we know Aaron Rodgers can be condescending. We know he can be aloof. Yes, he can deflect blame. All of that. But you know what? You take when you get a guy like that, whatever little idiosyncrasies, whatever faults a guy like Brady, whatever faults a guy like Rodgers or Manning or these top-level quarterbacks may have, you take it all. Because you know without them, you got no chance. So you're willing to do that.
Congratulations, Shannon. Your guy won.
Oh.
Skip. Skip, look here. Gee, I hate doing it, but like I said, I do kind of like doing it, Skip.
Tell me.
When you're in a relationship, you're never going to find somebody that has all the qualities you want.
A relationship counselor.
Skip, let me ask you, you're not going to find someone that has every quality you want.
Well,
he's team first. Yeah, exactly. So, but do they have enough of the qualities that you overlook the ones they don't? That joker can throw the football. So him being aloof, him being condescending, I'll take all that.
All right, I hear you guys.
Championship.
No mercy. Saturday Pro Football continues with the Spring League on Fox. Catch the Alphas as they take on the Conquerors at 3 Eastern. The hard-hitting action kicks off Saturday on Fox and the Fox Sports app. I checked it out last weekend. It was fun. I mean, I'm all in for football any time of year. It's a good watch. Guys, Russell Westbrook continues to put up monster numbers and can pass Oscar Robertson tonight for the most career triple-doubles. Magic Johnson has taken note of what Westbrook has been doing, saying over the weekend, quote, the things he's been able to do. Hopefully we will say, give him his love, give him his respect. This is really big. This is something I couldn't even do. I know how big it is. The one thing Westbrook is missing in his career is a title. So, Shannon, do you believe Westbrook will go down as the best player to never win a championship?
Well, Skip, because of his stats, I mean, Russ right now, Skip, he's basically 22, 12, and 12. 11.6 rebounds, 11.5 assists. That's what he's doing right now. But he's got some company because Karl Malone is a 2-time league MVP. He went to the finals. He's the second all-time leading scorer. Elgin Baylor, he lost to like 7 in a row. Charles Barkley, Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony. But I believe of those guys that I mentioned, he's probably going to be top 5 because when the number with four triple-double seasons and not to have a ring on his title, yeah, I think he'll be top 5. It's going to be hard to say he's going to be the best because Mailman with those MVPs and the second all-time leading scorer is going to have something to say about that. But it's going to be sad. He still has time, Skip, but I just don't know in his current location if he's ever going to be able to unless he goes somewhere late in his career and link up. I don't see him going to Brooklyn. I don't see him going to Milwaukee or one of these teams that are young and up and coming. So, Skip, I can see, he's going to be top 5. When you talk about, he's best player to never win a ring, he's going to be one of those guys that you mentioned.
Can you really see Russell Westbrook at age 36 or 7 taking a back seat on some team to go along for a ride?
Skip, he's the driver.
Championship?
He's the driver.
He's the driver, and it's always going to be.
Skip, he's one of them old guys, you know how old to get. They still go drive when they know they shouldn't be driving.
True. I agree.
He's like, I'm driving.
So I believe he will become known as the greatest player never to win a championship. I think it's his destiny. But he will be lauded as a great player.
Yes.
He will be a first ballot Hall of Famer because his individual star-studded accolades are going to be off the charts.
Yes.
They're going to be remembered way beyond what Karl Malone did or Charles Barkley
because
did.
Because of the triple-doubles.
Because of the triple-doubles. Their breakthrough, their historic, their lasting achievements. It's like he's created his own wing of the Hall of Fame that he belongs in by himself.
Because the record that they said no one was ever going to touch was the triple-double. Said it's too hard to get that many rebounds, to play that hard on a nightly basis and get that many rebounds.
So, listen, the classic Russell Westbrook. Think of what happened in 2012 against LeBron's new Heat, when he was, it was after the 2011 debacle.
Right.
So they're in the finals against the baby Oklahoma City Thunder. And the first game at Oklahoma City is a tour de force for the Thunder. And they get run off the court, by all that talent. Harden, Durant, and Serge is there, and they're loaded. And I'm thinking, LeBron and company and Dwayne might be in some trouble here. And then Russell contributed to what happened from there on because they lost 4 straight games. And in those 4 games, Russell went 3 of 18 from 3. He's a horrendous three-point shooter. And then remember back in 2016, they go up 3-1 on Golden State. They got him.
Yes.
And what does Russell do in the last 3 games of that series? He goes 5 of 19 from 3. And for the whole series, he was 8 of 41. It's hard to overcome that bad of three-point shooting when he insists on shooting a fairly high rate of three-point shots.
Skip, I think we all agree, though. They got there so quick. We just knew this team was going to be what the Spurs, what the Lakers were in the early 2000s. Every single year, they're going to be in the NBA Finals.
Which team? The
OKC.
The early one.
Yes. With Russ, Harden, Ibaka, and KD. We just knew. It was like Marino when he got there the second year, Skip. I'm like, they're going to be back. They're going to be back. Man, you see this? How young they are. And Skip, they never got back as a team.
Nope. They did not. And I still can't believe they let James go because they really didn't want to pay him. Clay Bennett and company, I'll never understand that, but they had their reason. They do want to pay the big
luxury
tax.
Skip, they're never going to get that level of play again. In consecutive drafts, KD, Westbrook, and Harden, Skip, it's never going to happen.
That was his opportunity to break through.
Okay. Yes. All right, guys, I got to ask, is Zion not getting the superstar treatment from officials that he deserves? I'll explain next.
No mercy.
Pelicans executive VP of basketball operations, David Griffin, was fined $50,000 for publicly criticizing league officials. Friday, Zion Williamson fractured his left ring finger. Griffin said it could have been avoided because, quote, the way they were officiating Zion was going to get him injured. So, Shannon, does Griffin have a point here?
No. I mean, Skip, he's a big guy in the lane. That's what you do. You're going to swipe at the ball. You try to get the ball as he's bringing it up because, once he gets it up, you got hell to pay. Skip, he's 6th in fouls drawn behind Giannis, Embiid, Trae Young, Lillard, Jimmy Butler. David Griffin talking like he was 25th in the league in fouls drawn. He's a big guy. You're going to get fouled.
He should be first.
No, stop it, Skip.
This is Shaq syndrome all over again.
You're a rookie, you got to earn that.
He gets fouled every time he touches the ball.
What about LeBron going to the basket?
Okay, I'll give you that. There's some to this, but Zion lives in the lane. Nobody can attack the way he attacks in the lane, and they're just building the wall. And because he's unrefereeable, is it a block? Is it a charge? Is it a charge?
Right.
Is it offense or defense? They just mostly swallow their whistle. And now look at he averages 8.7 free throws a game. Embiid is 11 free throws a game. That's a huge gap, and he should be 11 free throws.
But Skip, you do realize that he hurt his finger on an offensive rebound against Golden State.
Okay, but they said it was just repeated pounding of the hands. He just gets beaten on and beaten on. They get away with it because he's baby bull, baby Shaq.
Well, hey, shoot jumpers and don't worry about going in the lane then. How about that?
Well, nobody can stop him from getting
Okay, yeah, we can. We get the we're going to snap at the ball before we get it up.
You can play football with him.
Skip be shooting 9 free throws a game. You want to shoot 20?
Guys, we are out of time. Good stuff. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning. The Herd is on right now. Have a great day.